Okay, hello. I want to spotlight a browser I found, which looks really interesting to me. Um, First of all, to my history with browsers, I used to be a big fan of Firefox, but I just don't like the direction Mozilla is going to, and I think they focus too much on being like another tech giant, which is privacy focused, which um, then actually focusing on their main aspect, at least to me, which is Firefox. Right, Firefox keeps falling behind. It's less efficient in use, so it uses more RAM and stuff. It just doesn't support many features that Chrome does, right? Um, and the dev console, for example, also can't show you requests before they are done, which Chrome can, and so forth. So I just don't like Firefox anymore. But Chrome has a monopoly on browsers with Chromium, an effective monopoly at least. And they recently decided that since they make all their money from their ad business, why not cripple ad blocking in browsers? With Manifest version 2. So now there is no uBlock origin anymore. Since the APIs that it needs just don't exist anymore. Which brings me to my dilemma, right? I want to use a browser which is based on Chromium because I think Chromium is the better web engine. However, I also want to have proper ad blocking. And so what can I do? My recent answer to this was just use Brave. I don't like what Brave does. In a lot of ways. I don't like that they have like ad stuff built in, that they have like AI crap, that they have a Bitcoin wallet or whatever. Just be a browser. Just leave me alone with all that stuff, right? What I do like is they have a built-in ad block, which is really good. They use the same filter lists as uBlock does. You can also add custom filter lists if you want. And at least from my current understanding, they support all of the major functionalities or functions that are used in filter lists to block. There was like an open issue for some like procedural filter stuff not being supported a while ago, which is now resolved. I have not extensively tested it recently since Brave does support just using uBlock Origin, which I did. But even for when this eventually is not supported anymore, Brave might be one of the best ways to block ads on Chromium. Good thing is their ad blocking engine is open source, so at some point things like Helium could just implement that. At least from my understanding. I'm not sure about the licenses, but I would assume Brave uses a very permissive one. Helium uses a GPL license. I mean, I guess Brave AdBlock. I guess we can just look at the license, right? On Git, please. Not AdBlock lists. Maybe they link to that. AdBlock Rust. I think that's the one. So it's an MPL license. What does license comparison? I'm not sure about MPL. What does MPL do? Is there like a MPL license? I can also just read it. Oh, it's Mozilla. I see. Mozilla MPL license GPL. Are those compatible? MPL and GPL. So because the Helium browser is licensed under GPL, with the BSD3 for because of Google Chromium, which it's based on. When someone combines a file or files license under MPL version 2, which is the case for the adblock, with a project license under GPL or LGPL, the MPL section 3.3 allows distribution of the combined larger work subject to the terms of both licenses as long as certain conditions are met. So I won't go into detail now, but this looks like it shouldn't be an issue. So yeah, then in that case, that might be a future. Right now, however, uBlock is a supported ad blocker in Helium, and it is pre-installed, which is important to me. In fact, if you go on Manage Extensions down here, you see there's not even a remove button. You can just disable it, and it has like the little butthole icon, like Claude, which is the icon for Helium. Yeah, so let's go over the website. What does it tell us about itself? It's fast and efficient. It's based on Chromium. In fact, it's based on Google Chromium, which I think I already said that. It has a privacy focus. It does also stuff like HTTPS by default on sites, which didn't Chromium do that recently as well? I'm not sure, but Helium does it for sure. On Linux, it talks here about gear lever. On Linux, it ships by default with as an app image, right? If we go to the repo here, there's Mac, Windows, and Linux versions. The Linux version is an app image, so app images are kind of neat, but also kind of annoying. They're basically, if you're familiar with Windows, it's like a portable exe file, right? It's just like a file you could just put somewhere and just open, and it has like its dependencies inside. At least that's like if it's done correctly. Sometimes dependency management is maybe harder than you think, right? Because in a lot of cases, app image doesn't necessarily mean it just will work, at least in my experience. The problem with that is that you have to first choose some location to put them in, and then also to make like start menu entries yourself, which GearLever is for, right? GearLever is an awesome tool if you use app images. It allows you to update your tools and also create start menu entries, which is awesome. You can also install it in FlatHub, so you will be able to run this on pretty much any distro. Ubuntu does support Flatpak, right? Yeah, it does support it. It just doesn't ship by default. So yeah, that's an option. Yeah. The other thing, if you do use Windows, it doesn't have auto updates, which is annoying if you just download the setup yourself. It's completely fine if you use something like Scoop. Right, there's a Helium package here, so you can just use that. You could also probably also Chocolatey. I would assume. Where's the link for? I think it's community, right? Find packages. There's not a Chocolatey. No, yeah, there is one, right? There's a Chocolatey package with 69 nice downloads, and I assume there's also a WinGet package, right? Winstall app. I think it's baffling that there's no official way to search for packages, but yeah. I mean, I guess you could probably go to the GitHub page, but yeah. So like you can install it in all of these ways, and then it will auto update using this, which is fine, right? But it will be different from like Chrome, which does it automatically in the background, right? So yeah, it supports all the major versions. On Linux, it doesn't currently use Flatpak, which I would prefer, but that is also a thing that is being worked on. If we click through these, right? Publish on Flatpak is an issue, and there is okay. It's not on. It's not promised yet, but it is being worked on. If I can see also it was approved. There's also like it's on the Linux. That's why I couldn't find it. Right, and if we look for Flatpak, I don't know. I can't find it now, but there's an open pull request for this. I'm pretty sure. And if so, this will likely come in the future. The other thing, which is missing to me currently, is vertical tabs, but also this is for sure coming. So there was a pull request for this, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, a work in progress, right? So this is, and this also is approved, right? So this will most likely come. Flatpak maybe, but I mean, let's be honest. I prefer Flatpak, but AppImage is fine if you use GitLever, right? And both of them are so much easier than doing native packages for like OpenSUSE and Fedora and Ubuntu and I don't know, Arch Linux and whatnot, right? So I can understand why they went with AppImage or Flatpak. But yeah. What else? They have banks built in, right? Banks is if you do like W for Wikipedia. And like it was like initially created, like the first ones to do it were, as far as I know, DuckDuckGo. And I think it's a nice idea, right? So you can also do WDE for German Wikipedia, for example. And because it is implemented in the browser itself, you can have these previews, right? I use Kagi, which is like a search engine. They also have supports for that, but you would never have like these previews because it's just not built into the browser itself, which is a fun thing. Also cool is it's fully open source. So like you can host all of the parts of it yourself, including all the services. So you could run this maybe, I don't know, in an air-gapped environment for your intranet if you really want to or something. Or if you're just really concerned about privacy, you could just have the services in like a server at home or something, right? I don't know how many people will actually do that, but it's an option and that's cool, right? And I mean, they had to develop a way to deploy these things anyways. And I like that they then published a way to deploy it, and even with a Docker Compose. So it's like super simple to deploy, which is awesome. I like that. So that's awesome. Everything about it, I like it. Vertical tabs are coming. The only other thing which I'm missing for me personally is a way to synchronize bookmarks. And what I want to try for this is Flockus. I've heard people talk about that before. I haven't used it yet though. Flockus is just a browser-independent way of synchronizing your bookmarks. Which is actually nicer than having to, when I switch browsers, import everything anyways. The way you sync, there's a couple different ways. Apparently you can even use Git, which is interesting. But also just like Google Drive, which then all your bookmark data is at Google anyways again, right? And other ways, right? You can just like host your own WebDAV or something. If you use Nextcloud, there's ways, right? And I think this is what I will try for the synchronization of that. And yeah, I think I will try daily driving this for a while because it looks really interesting. And yeah, it kind of combines what I like about Brave without all the clutter and all the unnecessary, needless features outside of the synchronization. That's the only thing and the vertical tabs. Those are the two things which are missing to me personally. Yeah. Let me know if you found this interesting. If you use something similar, if you have like another browser I should be considering, which is Chromium based, has ad blocking. Yeah, I find this really interesting. Have a nice day.